The battle for your money is on, and it is coming to a lot of countries near you. It is in development or it's being piloted in different regions. But really, what is this digital currency? How does it affect you? What can you do about it? That's what we're going to be talking about today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming by. Now, central bank digital currencies, or CBDC, is something that everyone is talking about, but there's a lot of confusion around what it actually is because when we get paid, it gets put in our bank account. We are paying with a credit card. It's getting removed all digitally. So we feel that everything is digital anyway. And so, what does it actually change? Them mentioning on the news all the time that there's going to be a new digital currency. And because a lot of people in Europe, North America, Australia are already digital anyway, if you go to Hong Kong, South Korea, China, they're all digital. What is all this talk about going to be extra digital? Like, what is that? So, it is all based on something that you may have heard in the news called Ethereum. If you notice on Ethereum, it says smart contracts on that coin. Now, smart contracts, this is a type of cryptocurrency, Ethereum. Now, they want to make our dollar, whether it's the Swiss dollar, the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, it doesn't matter what kind of currency it is. They want to make it all now smart contracts, meaning that everything is trackable. If we take any dollar from any country, it typically will have a serial number on it. Now, that serial number isn't tracked electronically to know where it is. I might go out and buy 20 things in a day with cash, and no one would ever know what I purchased. But imagine if every single dollar had your name attached to it, and then whatever you purchased, whether it was milk or gas or anything, it would go right away to the government and leave a trail of every single thing you bought. Now, that is what smart contracts do with this type of currency is every single transaction is registered on a ledger, and people are not too happy about that. So let's look into some of the articles today. Different countries are fighting this in different ways. Now, the United Kingdom to start further development work on likely needed digital pound. Now, it's not just the Bank of England. They're also talking about doing this for the euro. The digital pound for purchasing goods and services, something that's likely to be needed in the future. While cash is here to stay, notice they put in that sentence that's very important and it makes people feel happy. A digital pound issued and backed by the Bank of England could be a new way to pay that's trusted, accessible, and easy to use. Trusted being the key word. UK may need a digital pound as more secure alternative to private cryptocurrencies. So this is very convenient to be coming out right now when we're talking about the collapse of places like FTX, for example, and all the other crypto exchanges. Remember, if you don't hold your coins on a private key, they're not yours. You need to get onto like that wallet, that digital wallet that you can put it on. We can show you the one that we use. It's called Ledger. We'll put a link to it below. So when we're going to look at this article, the UK appears to be heading down that road pretty quickly. Notice it says a pilot test on the central bank digital currency won't kick off until 2025. Now, that is just the UK, but note, likely will be needed. Listen, a lot of countries are saying that. And then it says over here that it will be trusted and that cash will be there to stay. Now, will it? That's my question to you. Will it actually be here? Will it actually be safe? Notice what they're saying. Now, you have to understand that there is two sides to this camp. On the one side, digital currency, meaning central bank digital currency, which is based off of Ethereum, smart contracts, it's a great thing in that there will be less fraud, less people counterfeiting dollars. It won't be possible anymore. Way less tax evasion. It might even be less people at the IRS in the States or the CRA in Canada collecting the taxes. So less fraud, more money for the governments. So that's a good thing. Less money in printing it. That's a good thing. There's a lot of good things here, right? But the danger behind all of it is the power that it gives them to track everything that you're purchasing and or limit what you're purchasing. Just imagine whatever country that you're in that they said, we don't want you to eat this type of food anymore. We don't want you to spend on lottery or cigarettes or alcohol or beef nowadays, or spend it on fuel or whatever the government's ideas of that day. When they want to have a policy, they could one person at one computer click a button and say one steak per week per person or something, but they could limit it, and they could limit how much you could take out, limit how you use it. They could also put time delays on it. So we remember in 2021, 2021, the governments were saying, we need you to spend every dollar you have in your bank account. So they could put a time limit saying, if you don't spend it, then it will be taken away. It'll expire in 30 days. Or they could do it the reverse, where they're saying in the past 12 months, they've been saying, please stop spending. Inflation is bad. Stop spending. And a lot of governments have turned around in response to that and limited how much money you could take out. For example, $40 a day or $200 a week, which we're seeing in countries that come up. So it's not necessarily that it's all bad, but it's the danger of that possible overuse coming to them. Now, not everybody is a real big fan of this. Let's look at what is happening in Switzerland. The Swiss want to vote on preventing a cashless society. Remember, it's not just the digital thing that we're talking about that we have today. We're talking about going to a central bank digital currency. Swiss citizens will get a chance to try to ensure their economy never becomes cashless. And after they collected enough signatures to trigger a popular vote. Now, this danger here, the danger of totalitarian surveillance, the thing that I was mentioning exactly. Now, one thing to remember about Switzerland is that they are a type of democracy that votes on everything. Now, Switzerland will send texts, they'll send letters in the mail, and you have to vote on everything, actually to a tiresome degree. They might ask you to build a bridge. Do you agree? Yes or no? Do you think we should increase welfare payments? Vote yes or no. Do you think we should have a national park? Vote yes or no. And so we in North America, we never get a chance to vote. It's just whenever the election cycle comes in, and then we have to hang on. So the other way is like Switzerland, where you have to vote on every pothole being fixed. And that's one way. Or we can actually even look at places like Australia, that if you do not vote in the municipal, provincial, or federal elections, they'll fine you on your income taxes like $2,000 for each time you miss. So there's different ways to do it. But Switzerland, very, very democratic, wants to make sure that there's always cash in your society. The problem is on both sides. If we go into the type of money supply, which is central bank digital currency, they can control you. At the same time, if you are with a big bank, look at this, Zimbabwe, they were printing so much money that it cost $1 billion for a cup of coffee. Unbelievable that it got that expensive. This is a real bill from Zimbabwe, 1 billion for a cup of coffee. So either way, we have to pick the poison that's going to hurt us the least. Now, how likely is this to actually come to fruition? Let's take a look at atlanticcouncil.org. This is the way that it comes up. If we scroll down, you're going to be able to see all the countries of the world and see if they've actually canceled it or if they're in development, which I think everyone should be paying attention to. If they're in development, look at where I am in Canada, United States, they're in development. Notice that they're running pilot projects in Russia, all over the place, in India and China. These are a huge part of the population of the world. And look at what they're running right now. We're a little bit behind that. We're developing it. They're already starting the pilot programs. This year, 2023, United States, check out Fed Now. They're starting this pilot project this year. Canada's also coming up with it. And I think what you're seeing in the news right now is Nigeria coming up with their central bank digital currency. Now, the articles out of Nigeria is that inflation is going absolutely bananas and people do not want to go to central bank digital currency. Remember, if you were in a country that was printing so much money that your money became worthless, then you want an alternative. So when the government is proposing this type of alternative, people are not very quick to want to do that. What they're doing right now is they're going to things like Ethereum, they're buying Bitcoin, or they're buying straight up 1 ounce gold bars or small 1 gram ounce coins. So for us, what can we do about it? One thing that we would like to do, I think everybody should do, is make sure that we always, as a country, have an option to go to some sort of cash. It's not that the central bank digital currency is wrong. It could do a lot of good things, but it's the abuse of that power that could really hurt some people. But making sure that you always have an alternative to use cash if you want to, I think is important. In addition, please check with your financial advisors. Most people say to hold some kind of gold or silver in your possession. Most people will suggest around 10% of your net worth to be sitting in gold and silver as an insurance that will always be there for you. It has no third-party liability to this. You always will have it. I'm not talking about paper certificates. actual real gold. And if you are extra brave and you have a little bit of extra room, try putting 1% of your net worth into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And those are not trackable most of the time. You can put it onto a key and store it on a key. Don't store it on an exchange. Some things that we can do. Now, there's going to be good and bad with absolutely everything that is out there. And as you see, different countries are doing different things about it. Anyway, it's good to stay abreast with this and know what's coming and try to keep your freedom out there if you can. Anyway, my name is David Ruff. Thank you very much for coming by. If I helped you at all, please subscribe to the channel. Let your friends know about it. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you on the next video.